Hey guys, welcome to Head First Fishing. I'm Captain Scott Sebot of Head First Fishing Adventures, and I want to talk to you about what we got going on in early March. Snook season just opened. It's a great time to go out there and target these hard fighting fish and bring home some great fillets. And best way to do it, in my opinion, is at nighttime. So I want to talk to you about that. What I like doing is covering the water column from top to bottom. And I want to talk to you about some lures that work really, really well for me. These Monster 3X's are awesome shrimp baits. We got a good shrimp flush going on right now on the outgoing tide. You rig them up with a 16th ounce or a 32nd ounce weedless weight. Throw them past the light, skip them to the back edge, let them sink down, give them a twitch, make them act natural, and it's an awesome way to target these snook. If you're going to target those fish in mid-column coming back to you, if you can do it, the mirro and the shadow wrap are a great way to do that. And these are two fantastic lures to catch snook in the middle of the column, under dock lights, around dock lights, or around bridges. Any shadow line, any pinch point is going to stack up snook this time of year, especially around the passes. It's been a really, really warm winter, so these fish are still acting like it's October, and they're also acting like it's April right now. So I'm treating these fish like it's still a spring or a fall pattern. And even though they should kind of be stacked up in some of those backwater areas, and they should be snacking on some of those slower baits and moving a lot slower, there's a lot of bigger baits out there for them. On the dock lights where I'm finding smaller baits, that smaller 14 MR is a great lure to go to. Match the hatch. You know, observe the bait around your area. Pay attention to where your fish are. Pay attention to what they're eating. Pay attention to what the bait is. And on your outgoing tide, a lot of times you'll get this whirlwind of smaller bait around your dock lights. And if that's the case, drop down to that smaller size. If you need to change the hooks out, go ahead and do that. Sometimes those hooks aren't big enough to land those bigger fish, but there's a lot of fish eating small baits this time of year, even though, as I said, they're behaving like it should be spring or fall. If I really want to work a bait hard through the area and just kind of power cast, typically what I'm doing is throwing a Z-Man, and this is just a salt and pepper flake. It's a paddle tail, and I'll put that 16th ounce or that 8th ounce weedless hook on there and crank it through pretty hard. And you can work this thing erratically as well. But this will give you an idea what those fish are doing. If they're really aggressive, they'll come out and they'll bust it. If they're not, they'll kind of come up to it, nose it, and turn off. And that's when I drop down to the bottom. And if I do need to drop down to the bottom, my preferred way of doing that's a mirror lure. And whether it's the Little John, the Provoker, or that soft shad tail, I really, really, really love these baits. These are probably my favorite way of targeting snook around docks. And typically it's a 1/4 ounce jig head. I don't care if I'm fishing 2 feet of water or 15 feet of water. I'll give it time to get down, and I'll work this nice and slow. An erratic twitch off the bottom, but make sure it hits bottom every single time is going to be key. And all of these baits are going to produce best for you if you fish the periphery of the lights. By that, what I mean is skipping a bait under a dock, throwing a bait past the dock, and skipping along the surface and dropping it through the light and hitting the bottom. Or just working the edges of the lights. Most of your big snook are going to come in the dark sections off the edge of those lights. And I hope if you use these lures, they're really going to produce for you, because they've shown me a lot over the years, and it's what's putting meat on the table for me. So good luck out there, guys.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on snook fishing this spring. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. You'll be following all the great content we got coming down the pipe. Be sure you visit stpetefishingoutfitters.com and www.hff.fish if you want to go fishing with us.